Welcome to Hive. We're going to show you how to install your trigger in 45, which all these have the Hive trigger on it now. And that one there. It works. The trigger works for the 45, the 40, and the 9. I'm going to take this one apart. This is the 9. And we're going to show you how to put it in. So first thing, all these are cleared. We're going to take the slide off. I'm going to move this slide here. Go. And I have a little pick I can see in here. So move that forward, push this down. Now we're going to release, take the slide off. Now to make your installation a little, I got some tools here that I'm going to show you. Punch set, you're going to need a small one. It looks like this might be a little more complicated than it is. It's really not. You have a roll of tape. We're going to remove this. So if you move this to about 2 o'clock, then I use a roll of tape and I set the gun right here. Now I'm just going to drive the roll pin out. And it doesn't take a lot. And I leave this also catches the parts. I'm just going to kind of push lightly on this to make the trigger bar come out. Now, when we were testing the triggers, I don't have a gun without a trigger in it, and the video we did, Chad went off on a military exercise and he took the video with him. That's why we're running this out to you right now. So I have a screwdriver here, and I'm just going to kind of lift up on the locking block a little bit. It really doesn't need this big of a screwdriver. And as you can see, that's a slide. That just kind of goes in and out. I'm going to set that here. Now I'm going to pull the trigger bar out. Now if you look at the trigger bar here, you will see that we ground about 30 thousandths off the back of that with a file. So what I did is I took a file, and this is so your safety in the back catches. This thing goes in here and this stops against the safety. So we're going to test that before we put it in. So when you go to do it, you just take any file and you're going to go that, or if you have a grinding wheel, you're going to take off till it's finished. It's about 85, so about 60 thousandths. You can take an extra 20 or 30 off. I'm going to show you how we can check this. If it's too long, this safety bar won't come up, and you can just keep filing it down. It's not that complicated. Just like I have a little jeweler's file here, and as you can tell, I just hold my finger and I can take material off. And so about 10 or 15 swipes of a decent file will get it to work. So now, when you're doing this at home, we're a machine shop, so I have a block, but you can find something like a piece of wood or something like that to drive out of your factory trigger. You want to drive that pin out. But we're going to swap the trigger out, and I'll grab the little pin. Now this is really important here, guys. I should have pointed out. See how the spring is going in up position right here? Mike's going to zoom in on you. This may come out. This may come out, so you can use this video to remember which way the spring goes. So the spring may come off. Put it back on. Just aim it up like that. Grab my little pin. Now that would be disassembling your trigger. This would be your stock trigger. Let's put your new trigger on. And I didn't grab a piece of paper. And I'm gonna put this down on here just so I don't, make sure this is clean. I'm gonna use the table and my needle nose. I'm gonna grab this little pin. I'm gonna get it started. So I'll put this in right here, just like that. And I can kind of see the whole line up. And I'm gonna flip it over because I want to go to the small side so I can actually see the trigger bar. I'm going to line the trigger bar up pretty close. Take my needle nose. I'm going to line it right up just like that. Trying to be straight. Just get a nice little tap. Right there I hit the trigger bar. That's fine. I'm going to move the trigger bar. I'm going to feel it lock in. Right there it's locked in. And that nasty little spring is going to probably flip on you. And I'm now going to grab my punch. And I'm going to kind of hold it so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm left-handed, so. Grab the smaller one. And we want the pin flush on both sides. Okay. I feel that feels flush. Keep an eye on my spring here. And I can give it one more little tap. There we go. Okay. I like that. Now we're gonna need some of this fishing string, and we're gonna send it through to the front of the spring. It's just a shortcut. It makes it a lot easier to install because then you can just pull on the string to line it up. I'm gonna put it through, and then I'm gonna tie the ends together. And I should have cleaned my gun first because I got black powder all over me. All right. Making sure my spring's up. I'm just going to kind of, that's what the idea is when we have it in the gun, we can pull it up like this and hook and put the pin through a lot easier. Now we're going to install locking block. This actually goes a lot quicker, guys. I've done this a bunch of times, and the first time, just take your time watching this video, go through every step. I'm going to test the trigger first. And so we can just drop the trigger in, and this piece goes right back here. And the safety thing is basically a wall that comes up and hits the back of this. So because we've taken out a ton of pre-travel, the trigger's not coming as far forward, so the bar being too long, it wouldn't allow it. So we just filed it down. We didn't compromise anything on the gun. All we did is save it, because we took so much pre-travel away, the trigger bar actually sits further back, but it's not hitting the plunger safety. So I'm gonna put that in there like that. I'll put my pin in. Just gonna line it up like that. And I'm gonna test to see if my safety's working. Countersink that hole. I kind of pinch my wire here. So I'm gonna put it in there like that. How I'm gonna test it is I'm just gonna slide it forward, the trigger bar, and see it right there. That part's good. Now I'm just gonna see if my safety clicks. See, because I know it did. Now, if you see that little bit of play right here, let me slow it down a little bit. That little bit of play, that's the play of the back of the trigger bar hitting this bar that we just filed. If you file too much off, you know, your trigger has to be all the way, let me take this here. Has to be almost right there to fire. So you have room when you file it, but if you get it like this and this hits, it doesn't lock up, it doesn't snap in, file a little bit more off that thing. And you can repeat that process as much as you want to get it to work. I'm gonna push this back out. Also, the string helps from dry. If you don't want to lose the spring, it kind of keeps it through. So now we're going to put it back together. I put these things in a bunch of times without putting that in, and kind of a pain in the butt. So make sure all the pieces are there. You're going to take this thing, just so it doesn't get caught up, you're going to pull it right through here. Then as a group, I'm going to insert the trigger bar back in. It's in correctly. Make sure the spring is laying up correctly, and that is. And I'm going to put the locking block in, making sure locking block's in, trigger bar's in. So as you can see, you can kind of see my fishing line. I'm going to pull this after I get the pin locked in, but I have it wrapped here, so I'm going to put the pin in. And I'm going to take it off the camera for a second. Well, I can try this. Okay, I got it started. I might need just a little bit of a tap. Okay. So I got the pin in, as you can see in there. And I'm kind of sliding it forward a little bit. So I want to bring the pin back just a little bit. Right there, and I'm going to pull on my string. Now, this isn't very good fishing line, and if you have some better ones, you can, but I'm going to pull on it just a little bit more. I'm trying to do this for the camera. I'm trying not to pinch it. So as you can see there, I got it in.